Okay, this is the SignalTrader trading system 4.2R version training session. I'm Paul Clevitt from I want to be a forextrader.com and dailyforextrader.me. Major new upgrades since 4.0 to 4.2R. This system uses I think it's running into 17 different indicators to produce each chart. So each chart is running 17 different indicators. So what I'm going to do is go through some of the indicators, some of the things that are going on the screen and what they tell you. Then we're going to look at the web front end, and then I'm going to go through a few charts. I think that's a good plan. Okay, so starting off on the right hand side, we've got the trend things. One of the things I realized was back when I initially started doing trading with this method, I was using paper-based trading, and I would look at the 4-hour, the daily, and the 1-hour chart. And as time went on, I completely forgot to do that, because the forex works best if you have a set of rules and you follow them, and then you adjust the rules to the market. So SignalTrader's got a lot of maths in it that adjusts to the market, as you can see with the stop loss and take profit. We'll get there in a second. So we've got the 4 different trends. So you know at any time if all of them are pointing up, there's a good chance which way is it going? It's going up. And if all of them are pointing down, there's a good chance we're going around. If we've got a mixture, try and find something like this, then you know that. So for instance, sometimes when we have a rally in favor of the trend, it'll come back first because it has to square up. So in this case, I actually had this trade this morning. It came up here. I actually stopped out. It stopped out here with a nice bunch of profit because SignalTrader was protecting me from this pullback, because it wasn't in character with what had happened for the last 4 hours. So in this case, I suspect it'll come back to here for a hook, and then it'll head up, but it's going to be very slow. So at the moment, although this is a possible trade, I wouldn't take it at the moment. So we've got the trend there. We've got the order thing. This means that at some point this is going to be an order. Okay, it's not at the moment, and if we go and look at the front end with the new news going on, if we look down for whatever that was, if I just switch back to it, Aussie New Zealand, which is the trade I've had today already, Aussie New Zealand, there it is. You can see that it actually doesn't say that it's got a white background, and that means don't trade it, just look at it. Okay, only advanced traders should be thinking about trading these ones with a white background, because there's a reason. Things don't add up. Okay, so even though we've got strong buy trends, there's more sellers than buyers by a long way, and that also reflects in the orders. So together, what it basically means is that we're going to look at that and switch back to there, and we're not going to take that trade right now, but we're going to bear it in mind for later, because sometimes it's useful to go and look at a trade, especially as you get more advanced. You'll be able to look at a trade. So there's other things going on. What are all these white diamonds? It looks like someone's been snowing on the screen. And what they are basically is pivot points. So that's not a very good one to look at. Let's look at this one. So basically, if we come up, see the pivot point? There it comes down. There's the pivot point again. Pivot point, pivot point. There we go. So like this. And the more pivot points you have, the more congested it is. Look at this one. I've got an order on this. I don't think it'll ever go. At the moment, it's sitting in a bearish trend. Normally, if you get a trend like this that hangs around, especially if it's been going on for a long time, when it does break, it breaks good and proper. Look at this pair here. See that? Down we come all the way, and that's the way this currency is moving at the moment. Euro yen. It's just moving along. There's some yen news later on. Anyway, so moving back to the screen. So we've got volume. I don't pay a lot of attention to, and I'll tell you why. It's because some brokers, it's very small because they don't have a lot of volume. Congestion. The longer the congestion, the more of a break we'll probably get out of it. This is just information about the charts. So really, we're looking at all these things, and all these things are summarized on the web front end, and the web front end enables us to see what's going on. The web front end does some evaluation. Let me look on this right hand side of the web front end, and we can go through that. Starting with the news, you can see that this is the upcoming data. Now, this data can shift the market, so if you're new to it, you need to be looking out, and especially watching out for these red ones. Do not trade near these red ones. If you're in profit, move your stop into entry if you can, because they can really shift the market. Okay, if you've got one with 2, it can shift the market if it's a surprisingly big number, but normally it's the red ones that shift the market. On the right hand side of the screen, we've got a list of orders coming out of MetaTrader that SignalTrader thinks you should look at. And the ones with a highlighted background, it's red for a sell and green for a buy, are ones that SignalTrader is saying these apples are nearly ready to eat. Okay, but you must check them. Don't just hit the button. Okay, so Euro, Aussie dollar. Let's go and look at that. What have we got? Window, Euro. It's not there, so I just click on Windows. Click on Euro, Aussie dollar. Let's run my order manager as well. Okay, so what have I got? I've got a great big long congestion, a drop down here, which is quite sweet. So we've had this big move down. It's broken this bottom line here, and it's actually starting to head into a further drop. So this is probably a continuation if it achieves that. Okay. Now the Aussie dollar's done very well today for itself, and it's been consistent. So we're looking at this little patch of stuff there. What's the likelihood of it? Let's have a look. Daily trend down, 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 down. So everything's down. The only thing I would note is that they're not strong bearish candles, okay, which means what? I mean, one or two things. Either it's turning around, which I don't think it is at this stage because you need green ones up here for that to be happening. If you get a turnaround, you'll see that one goes green, then that one, then that one, then that one. But this one may go red and green during that because, of course, this is the 15-minute trend, so it can go up and down as the rest of it's turning. But here, these two are only slow. That means it's going to be slow. This trade took 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. This is a day. Okay, so if you enter this, you may be stuck in it for a whole day. However, we are entering the Asian session, and the Aussie will move more in the Asian session than it will move in the US or the UK, the European sessions. So that's quite an interesting trade, but it's going to be slow, but that's okay because I'll be asleep. So I think I'm going to pop that on there. Okay. Aussie Chief. Let's go and have a look at that. So this is the way I look at trades. I'll just go and have a look, see what I think. Aussie Chief. Again, same story, isn't it? We're looking for a buy on the Aussie Chief, which means we're looking for the Aussie to get stronger. So here is the same thing. It's the same thing. You will see with SignalTrader, what you'll find is that you will see the same trades, the same currencies being all bought or all sold. So you'll see 5 trades with the Aussie in them where the Aussie's being bought. Okay, so Aussie Chief, they're buying the Australian dollar. If we look back at the one we just looked at, look at this. Euro Aussie, they're buying the Australian dollar, they're buying the Australian dollar. So basically, I won't place both of those trades because there's no point. Okay, so basically, I look for the juiciest one, the one that I like the most, and I go with that. Why have double risk on the same currency? Okay, both of those. So the Aussie dollar is getting stronger on both of those trades. Okay, and sometimes you'll see an odd thing where you see 3 trades, Aussie New Zealand. There's another one. Guess what? They're buying it. So what's that telling you? You don't want to take that trade because at the moment the trend, there are sell orders being in there, but that may change very shortly. Incidentally, if you have, let's say you place this red order, so let's go back to Euro Aussie dollar because I've got that. If you place, there are times when SignalTrader will cancel your order, okay, and there are times when it'll leave it. If the trend goes against you, so if this suddenly turns upwards, SignalTrader will cancel the order. There's no point you sitting in it. If, however, it's just diamonds, so it's just this, okay, SignalTrader will leave you in the order because it's still in, the trend is still in your favour, okay, so it'll leave you in the order. Likewise, if the orders are heading towards a buy, what you see sometimes up here, instead of saying sellers winning or buyers winning, you'll say 1.45 buyers to sellers or 1.54 sellers to buyers. That means the market is kind of undecided about where it's going. I mean, at the moment, it's a seller's market, this one. However, again, it's not very fast, and if it does ever manage to make it the next 10 pips and break and get my order, it could take all night to get down to the bottom, unless some news comes out and shifts it, which does happen sometimes. So sometimes I've gone to bed and got up in the morning and it's been done. So what else can I show you? Also, something to note, you can't see it at the moment. If you scroll down the page, I put latest news down here and some general information which is worth reading. Make sure you're running the latest version of SignalTrader. I'll show you why. let's talk about congestion. Now remember that SignalTrader is a congestion breakout system. A congestion breakout system basically means we're looking for the market to do this, to go horizontal. And when it breaks that congestion, then we look for the break, because the break normally means a move, and then it'll go horizontal again. Now, the thing about congestion is that it can be any size. Now, these are quite small congestion, as you can see, which is quite normal for this time of the day. Look at the length of that. Euro New Zealand. It's just sitting there, absolutely sitting there. It's been bullish daily. Right, so moving along. What I'm really looking for is something really huge, but I might not have it at this time of day. Oh, there we are. There's one. Okay, look at this. Look at the size of this congestion. This congestion is sitting at 121 pips. And you might say, oh, but it's not congestion. It's because it's raging around. But I'll tell you, it is congestion. There's no power in this, okay? There was power to get it up to there, okay? But at this point here, the power dropped out of the market, okay? And now it's just ranging up and down. I bet you if you come back tomorrow, GBP New Zealand will be just still sitting in this congestion, right? And I'll tell you why, because both of those are strong at the moment. Okay, so let me just move to some other charts. So again, here we go. Sterling CAD. Okay, again, same sort of pattern. Sterling Swissy, a little bit different. We've had a big bounce up, and now this is hooking by the looks of it. So with this, I might expect it to come back halfway before it continues up. And of course, SignalTrader is saying there's no trend trade there because it's just nearly breaking the next barrier. So once it's broken this, we probably have a trade on that, and that makes sense because we'll have a hook back and it'll come up. When they do a big rally like this, they have to square it up, so they have to bring the candle back again, bring the pair back again, and take them up further, or it will drop it. But it's more likely they're going to take it up further. That's why. Look at the trend. Okay, so what have we got here? There's another one. You can see, although it looks like we've got an upward move, doesn't it? But there's no power in it. Okay, that's why this to generate the congestion, I use formulas based on our RSI, Relative Strength Index. And that means that we can tell if there's any power in the market. There's no power in this market at the moment, okay? So the congestion might actually just get bigger. So I wouldn't take a trade on that. Same thing here. What have we got here? Euro CAD. Euro CAD did a nice big drop. There's some congestion there. We dropped all the way down here. We bounced back up again. And now what are we going to do? We're probably going to hook back. And in fact, it's looking like it's going to. Look at the trend. So the trend's gone upwards. So we've had this long move up. The daily's been up. It's broken the daily, come back down. It could be one huge hook. Let's look at that. Oh, look, there's the daily chart. Okay, so you can see it's come up, it's come back, it's come up, and it's due to really come back for a hook, isn't it? Look at this. Up there, there's a hook, there's a hook. Look at how it goes up. This is almost a perfect hook there. They will always bring it back. Okay, but SignalTrader will detect that, so that's okay. There's another big congestion. Look at on earth is that? Swissy yen, I think. It's teeny writing and terrible eyesight. Swissy yen. Okay, so Swissy yen. Look at this. Okay, so we've got. It's actually this is a bit of a deception right now. I'm going to scroll this smaller because really it's only 35 pips risk, which means this congestion isn't that big. It just looks like it. Look at this false break. You see how the congestion was kind of here. This is a 4-hour line. It comes down here, breaks through the congestion, then bounces back up again, bounces down again. But we knew that, okay, because actually that was the first break was of a little bit of congestion here, came down here, then it lost the power in the market. The power dropped out here, and this is normal. Look what it's done. It's hooked, okay. So what are we waiting for now? Another breakout of congestion. Okay, it's done the hook, but it's just sitting there, and at the moment there's not enough reward in it. The bigger traders won't go for small trades. They go for 50 pips or above. This one looks interesting, doesn't it? What have we got here? Euro, dollar, I don't trade it anyway. Okay, let's talk about stop losses, because stop losses are complicated. SignalTrader uses a dynamic stop loss system, and these green and red lines are the stop losses. Okay, the stops. Now, it doesn't always do exactly like this, depends on the state of the market. But for instance, let's look here. So the red line would be if you were taking a short, this is the red, and if you're taking a long, the green. Now you look at the way, let's say you had an entry here, look at the way the stop moves up, it moves up, and the green stop, the trailing stop actually comes back a little bit to give it a chance, just in case it's going to retrace, but it doesn't, and it'd stop out there. So you would get a little bit of a trade out of that, but we wouldn't have traded it anyway. Let's find the one that I did trade was Aussie New Zealand earlier. Aussie New Zealand. There you go, possums. Right, so this is one I traded earlier. Okay, here's what I prepared earlier. So my entry was here. Look at the way the stop comes up and it just trails nicely behind it. Sometimes it gives it a bit more space. You can see there because of this candle. Then it moves up, it moves up, it moves up. Suddenly it goes poof and comes back down and it stops out in profit. It did that to protect me. What happens if it comes back down? I've lost the trade anyway. So, okay, you might go, oh, well, he could have made it all the way up, but it was very slow. It took it like 4 hours to get there. Okay, so I was quite happy with that. I got 30 pips out of it. Nice, easy profit. Again, look, same thing here, except this one would have actually survived it. You can see that the stop just moves down behind it quite neatly, quite tidily, but because it's very small, and then it would have stopped out here, which is fine. So you've got that nice run, and then we're back into congestion again, so we don't want to be in the trade anyway. Same thing here. Look at the green line. So look at this. This is Aussie Swissy. Comes up. This was actually some Swiss news, I think. Yes, it was. There's a bit of Swiss news, pulled it back a bit. Okay, and it stopped out great, because if it was heavy Swiss news, it would have gone straight down, and we don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose the profit we've got just for a small trade. So it looks like it's holding it quite close, but it is allowing it. It's a kind of safe way of trading using the stop system that's dynamic. Okay, good. Okay, I think I've been talking for long enough. I'm going to just look at the chat now, see if there's any questions in the chat, and there isn't. Please enter your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, please enter them into the chat. And I'll just type that, your questions in the chat. Good. So if anyone has any questions, now's the time to ask them. Otherwise, I'll end the recording so that I can get it up on YouTube. Aha, no, Andy hasn't got any questions. Oof. Okay, you mentioned about congestion. What would be a minimum time? Nick, that's a great question. Okay, what is the minimum time for congestion? SignalTrader will not show you congestion less than 60 minutes. Okay, it's got to be over an hour long to be classed as congestions. However, yeah, which makes sense. Okay, so that's why sometimes technically it could be moving back into congestion, and it'll hold it until it's got an hour's congestion. So minimum is 60 minutes. The longer the congestion, the better, because it's more likely that if it's congested, if it is congested for a longer time, from my experience, longer congestion means a bigger break. Okay, don't know why, it just does. Okay, any more questions? I hope that answers your question. I've got a spider. There's a spider. Oh, he's dropped down from the roof. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, so there's some really long congestion going on, which normally means the market's waiting for something. Good one to watch is FOMC. You know how people don't trade on FOMC day? Or sometimes non-farm payrolls as well, don't trade that. Go and look at the congestion. And look at the way the market just loses all... The big boys stay out of it, and it's just the little retail traders playing around with the market. So you don't get any huge moves, it just hangs in the air. Because everyone waits to see what FOMC is going to say, and then they move it. Okay, next question. Any more questions? Okay, I can't see any more questions. Okay, I'm going to end the recording. Speak now, or forever hold your peace. Okay, anyone who's watching this video is not a user of SignalTrader. It's www.iwanttobeaforextrader.com, and you can sign up there. You can chat to me online live if you want to. There's quite a few videos on dailyforextrader.me as well, and I normally add a new video once a day if I can, if there's something to talk about. I think that's about all I'm going to say, so I'm just going to turn the recording off. Thanks for watching.